Welcome back everybody. In this video I'll be talking a bit about sprites and how they relate to actors. So to begin, let's just click on an actor here. This is just in the sample project, so anyone can find this. I'm using version 2 beta 5 of GB Studio, and as you can see here, there's like each actor. This is an actor. You can get another actor by clicking this plus symbol, and then you can get another actor. You can also press A, I think, and it comes up. Yeah, so you click on an actor once you've put it down, and there's this thing, sprite type, and there's two options, static or actor. Actor means that it has direction, but if you set it to static, then you only have options of the number frame that you are getting. And if you notice, you can't make him switch the other way. There is a plugin, I think, on Itch that you could download that means that you can have more control and you can flip the actor vertically and horizontally, which is a really cool thing to be able to do, which probably will be in GB Studio 3. But for now, we only have we only have 3 ways of defacing, unless you set it to actor. So keep that in mind when you're setting out your level, because this still uses 3 frames. You see this? But if you wanted it to face, if you use static and wanted it to face left, you'd have to use a 4th frame. The difference between static and actor isn't just the frame and the direction. It's also about when it moves. So when it moves, I think when an actor moves, it obviously cycles through its animations. You see here animation speed. It means that if it was to move, it would animate. And if this was the player's sprite sheet, the player's sprite sheet has 6 frames, meaning that it has, the left foot, right foot moving, and that would make it look like it's walking. But if you turn off animation speed, then it won't animate as it walks. But if you set it to static and you move it with the animation speed on, it will cycle through all 6 frames. And sometimes this will be what you want to do. And I think you only get this choice when you only get this choice when it's classed as an actor or an animated actor. An actor has 3 frames and an animated actor has 6 frames. And I'll jump into GIMP to show you how that works right now. So yeah, here we are in GIMP, and I've dragged in the player sprite. And as you can see, there's 6 frames. Each 2x2 area is a frame, and a frame just means the actor itself is 16 by 16 pixels in GB Studio currently. Hopefully that changes with GB Studio 3 and updates itself to be whatever we want it to be, so we could have larger sprites and smaller sprites. But for now, it's just 16 by 16 pixels. So if we look at this 16 by 16 pixels, we can see that these two are facing forward. These two are facing back, and these two are facing to the right. And they get swapped when they switch. Yeah, they get swapped when you're using the directional thing and you point it the other way. So that means that technically, when you have an animated actor, you're saving 2 sprites, because obviously when you face left, you don't have to make an extra frame for it facing left. But yeah, so it's got 6 frames, 6 groups of 16, and if we wanted to make just an actor, then we would have 3 frames. But obviously, if we want to use any other of these things, like this signpost only needs 1 frame, and it's just a static actor, and it just sits there, and it's as simple as that. You might already realize that you could have an actor that is invisible, and that would just be as simple as having the whole of the sprite just be green. And if we were to crop this and export it as a blank thing. We call it blank. We put it in the same folder as all the other sprites. Then we will gain that sprite. So let me just show you the folder in which you need to put all your sprites. And this is the same for the backgrounds as well. The backgrounds has its own folder, and you see all of the backgrounds you just drop into here, and it's as easy as that. The sprites are the same. So I've just made this one called blank, and it's just the green. And we'll quickly just look at the document online to show you why I'm using these colors. This green, as you can see here, is to represent the transparent background and will be invisible in game, right? So by having the whole tile that green, it's invisible. The other three colors are black, white, and I think this is the lighter green. And this means that you can, the fourth color obviously is the transparent. On the background, the transparent doesn't exist, and it's instead the darker green. So you have 4 colors only, and that's part of the charm of Game Boy. As you can see here, it has a couple of examples. And this is just the cat. This is the fire. This one has 4 frames, you can see. And this is a good example of a static animated actor. Even if you had 3 frames, if you didn't have this last frame, then you could set it as the static actor and animate all the way through these. But yeah, I'll leave a link below to this bit so you can take these hex codes to take into your program of choice. Yeah, so now we're back in GB Studio. We can now take that blank frame that I created. You see it's only 1 frame here, and the thing is now invisible. You cannot see it, and that's for the simple fact that that green is transparent. So yeah, so it's as simple as that. If you want to have like hidden objects, like if you, for example, have a background piece like this window or something, you could make it so if the player looks at the window and interacts with it, then it says you look through the window and something happens, right? Simple as that. But obviously, and all you do is just switch out this stuff. This is currently about the sample project duck dialogue. But yeah, it's quite simple once you know what to expect, but you obviously have to know what to expect to be able to do that. I just want to add as well that you can see if you click on the background that there's an actor limit, a frame limit, and a trigger limit. The triggers obviously are these things, which when you walk into they get triggered, or if you're on point and click when you click on them. The frames, this is one of the most important things because you will probably reach it quite fast, is that like these are unique frames, right? So each sprite sheet has an amount of frames in it, and if you reuse the same sprite sheet, then you're not adding any more frames to the level. But if you add a new sprite sheet, for example, these two things are different. So you got 3 frames here and 6 frames here, and obviously each actor that you use that has a sprite will use another frame, and you physically can't go past the frame limit, otherwise it will mess up the game and it will look, there'll just be random tiles everywhere and you wouldn't make sense of it. The actors is the same thing, but it won't mess up the screen. It will just the actors just won't show, I think. Actually, I don't know. I've never actually tested it completely. But I know that you can't have more than a couple. I think it's more than 5 actors in a row on screen. So, for example, if we take these, if we were to do this, then one of these would be hidden, and if one was to move out of the way, then they would all be shown again. And then as soon as they move back, then it will hide one of them again. I don't know the rules on which one gets hidden. It might be the last one or something, but I really don't know. But yeah, so you need to keep in mind that the frame limit is important, and you might have to get a bit smart with how you do it, or scale down your project to match the amount of frames you want to be using, or you just scale down the frame use. And the same with the actors, though 30 actors is quite a lot. It's less in the first GB Studio, so GB Studio 2 is good for that. And I think the same with triggers. If you've got a big level then, and with lots of triggers, then you might reach it easily and be a bit sad about that, but there's always workarounds. But yeah, I just wanted to add that. One more thing regarding the collision of these actors is I think that they actually, although it looks like it's 2 by 1, it actually takes up the whole 4 by 4. So if we put this here again, this actually takes up the 4 by 4, and I think when the collision is happening, it's a 4 by 4. I mean 2 by 2. The collision of actors is 2 by 2 tiles. It takes up the whole thing. And I'm not sure there's a way of changing this. Obviously, the player, if you're using the top-down 2D map mode, let's just find that here. The type of map is top-down 2D. Then the top 2 tiles of the player don't hit, and you can, walk up to collision points like this. But with actors, I think that doesn't happen, and they do collide with the top of the actor frame. So you want to keep that in mind. I think in GB Studio 1 it didn't happen, and it could collide like this. So maybe if you have any ideas about that, you could go back to GB Studio 1. But yeah, it's pretty simple. Just keep in mind that 6 frames is an animated actor, 3 frames is an actor. You can use animated actors and actors as normal static actors. Static by meaning you can cycle through the frames. So yeah, and obviously you can have invisible ones. But yeah, that's all for now, guys. If this helped shed any light on anything, I'd love to hear what you think. Subscribe if you haven't already. Leave a comment below on what you want me to make a video on next, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.